All right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, and this is SmellGoodz. Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate you hanging out with me for a little bit as we are rolling heavily into spring, at least where we are. In fact, it's almost summer. I know it's the beginning of March, but we are already here in Phoenix. We're already hitting the 70s, 80s, supposed to be next week. So spring lasts about a day and a half here. But where you are, it may be just rolling into spring, not sure. But I thought it was time to kind of give you some spring fragrances, but especially from our Middle Eastern fragrance houses that are doing their take of variety of things. So all of these I'm going to give you 5. Actually, I'm going to throw in a 6th one just because I'm still kind of debating on it. I'll explain when we get to it. All right. But this is 5 plus a bonus fragrance that are from Middle Eastern houses that are perfect for this spring, even going into summer time of the year. All right. So do me the favor again, just sit back, enjoy, watch, relax. Let's go through these and then we'll talk about kind of what we're looking at. All right. First one up is from Khadlaj. And this is from their Karus Blue Spice. Khadlaj, and this is Karus Blue Spice. So this one is their take on Louis Vuitton's Imagination. So it opens with this tea and this bergamot. It puts you in the space, not a 1-to-1. This is probably going to be a 85-90% there. Does a pretty good job. Now, it's not as good as one that I'll probably have a full review coming on soon, which is Al Haramain's Amber Oud, which one, Aqua Dubai, or whatever one it is. But this one, up until I got that, this one sufficed. This still does a pretty good job, and something that you may want to, if you have the opportunity to check out. Again, you can get this definitely sub 25. I think I paid probably around $20 for this, if that. But this is Karus Blue Spice, and this is again their take on Imagination, and does a pretty good job. Very refreshing, very nice blend of the tea and the bergamot. Does get you in the mindset of Imagination. Again, just not a 1-to-1, but definitely something that could work for you, just especially as a gym scent, especially as just a running around, something light, something fresh for this spring and summer months. All right. Next one up is not really a clone of anything, at least anything that I've put nose on or smelled or what have you. But this one is, it's almost it seems like a combination or a mixture of a few things. It kind of puts me in that Bleu de Chanel, in that YSL, and in that Invictus space, right? If all of the 3 of those got together, somebody had a bottle of each of those, spilled it, this is what it might come out smelling like. I am talking about from Afnan. This is 9 a.m. Dive. This is 9 a.m. Dive. Let's put it there for you. All right. This one opens with lemon, opens with mint. There's some black currant in there as well. Just a nice, fresh, bluish kind of scent that works very well in spring, works very well in summer, even can go into fall. In some respects, this could almost be an all year round, but I think it really shines, in my opinion, in the spring and summer months, especially if you're looking for something fresh, something clean, something that is not going to be overbearing, something that's not going to be too cloying or too sticky, if you will. This is a good fragrance for you to check out, as opposed to, for example, for me, 9 p.m., which is the Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male, can be a little too much in the summer months for me, just because that sweetness. But this is just, this stays fresh throughout its life. All right. But it does do a little shifting, but it still stays fresh for the duration of it. All right. Again, that is from Afnan. This is 9 a.m. Dive. 9 a.m. Dive. All right, next one up is a take on fragrance. Had an opportunity now to smell it a couple of times. Beautiful fragrance, very, very aromatic, very citrusy fragrance that just at some point will probably make itself into my collection. Maybe not a full bottle. I'll probably see if I can pick up a partial, just because it's kind of up there. But from the House of Fragrance World, this is Imperium. And this is doing its take on Raja's Elysium. This opens with you get that grapefruit like all the way down your, all the way in your nostril, all the way on your taste buds. You get grapefruit, lemon, lime is in here as well. Then it does finish off musky. It does finish off a little earthy, but still that freshness of the citruses just continues to keep it bright all the way throughout. With, like I said, a little muskiness at the bottom. Nothing that's crazy or what have you. But this right here is another good fragrance that you can throw on. Has decent performance, especially if we're talking citruses. For me, and this might be different for you, but for me, citrus fragrances don't always have great or extremely long longevity, but it does have decent longevity. This is definitely something, especially for this being a clone. This is something that definitely, I can throw on. I'll probably, refresh. I'll put it in the bag or whatever when I go to work, refresh during lunch, what have you, but it definitely does do the job well and does a good job of coming in that space, if you will, of Raja's Elysium. All right. So this again is from Fragrance World. This is Imperium. All right. Next one is one that a lot of you may be familiar with. It is doing its take on YSLY, I believe the EDP. And this is from Lattafa. This is Lattafa's Fakhar Black. Fakhar Black. You can see kind of the other stuff there. This bergamot, ginger, apple. It opens with that soapy, fresh cleanness of YSLY, and does a pretty good job of mimicking it. 95 percentile. But for me, this is, yes, it's a nice freshie for all year round, but especially when you start to get in those months where you wake up hot, where you wake up sweating, where you wake up and it's already 105 degrees outside. At least that's my experience. That's where I live. You might wake up and it stays 60 degrees. Cool. Where I live, when I'm waking up hot, when I'm waking up, it's just, I know it's going to be one of them days. This is something definitely to reach for, just because it maintains that freshness. It maintains that soapiness, that clean scent that you kind of want, especially when the world around you might be kind of funky. Let's just say. All right. But again, Fakhar Black from Lattafa is definitely something that you might want to check out as adding to your spring collection. All right. Another one from our Middle Eastern fragrances, our Middle Eastern houses, that is another one that will be really good for the springtime, even as we roll into summer, is from another one from Lattafa. Ugly bottle, and let me hold it back so you can get the full, yep, that's a horse head right there. All right, this is their take on, this is Maahir Legacy, sorry. This is Maahir Legacy, and this is their take on Sedley. I think I've got a decant or a sample of Sedley somewhere around here. Does a pretty good job, probably 95% of where you would want Sedley to be. So definitely a good clone, if you will. This, you get, I mean, it's Sprite in a bottle is the way I've heard it described, the way I kind of even agree with it. It's if you took Sprite, took out the sugariness of Sprite, but just that overall scent of Sprite, this is what you would have. It does a good job of cloning Sedley. And again, for the spring, you can't go wrong with it. This is one that towards the end, I think I got it towards the end of last summer, and it definitely worked its way into my rotation then. And I imagine it'll work its way into my rotation again this summer. All right, that's another one for, again, spring or summer, Maahir Legacy by Lattafa. That's the 5. All right, so here's where we're gonna give you something extra that I'm on the fence about it. I'm kind of on the fence about it simply because it's gone through a maceration process and it's not exactly how I remember it. It's better than how I remember it. Let's just say that. But I'm still I gotta really play around with it. But as I was going through my fragrances and picking out some for this list, I had these 5 that I was like, these are definitely on the list. I waffled back and forth on this one, but we're gonna at least throw it out here. This is something, take with a grain of salt, something that you might want to check out. You might have a different experience than I had, especially when I first opened it. Right now, again, I'm kind of on the fence about it, right? And of course, I am talking, well, not of course, but I am talking about from Lattafa. This is Asad Zanzibar. Asad Zanzibar. This one, it opens with, you get the lavender, I get the coconut water. You even get some iris in there, but there's this milky kind of creaminess that's in there. and I don't necessarily see any notes that really give me that, but that's what I'm getting, right? Maybe the coconut with the other things is what's giving it that creaminess. But it's an interesting fragrance. I'll just say that it's an interesting fragrance that I'm going to spend a little time with just to kind of see how I feel about it. When I first smelled it, I think I don't know what it was, but it smelled like pencil shavings when I first got it. That probably is the best way to put it. But that's kind of what I got when I first smelled it. Now that I've come back, now that I've sprayed it and let it sit, it's been sitting probably for 3, maybe even 4 months now. Now it's shifted on me. It's caused me to kind of reevaluate and say, okay, let's at least give this a try, because this is about to go in the decluttering box, if you will. But something to check out for, and it sounds like I'm not giving it giving it an endorsement, and I'm kind of giving it a cautious endorsement. This is Asad Zanzibar, something that you may want to check out and see what your thoughts are for spring. I know some people that like this and they really enjoy it. I know some people that are like, never happening, not going to touch it. I'm in the space right now of let me see. All right, so that's it. Those are my 5 plus a bonus fragrance as far as things that you might want to check out for the spring months ahead that are specifically from our Middle Eastern clone houses. All right, that's it. I'll probably have another video as far as just all around spring fragrances that you might want to put your nose on. But this is kind of where we'll leave it at that. Do me the favor, again, as always, stay safe, stay sane, stay smelling good. And then, of course, do me the honor as well. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, request notifications, and share. Meet me in the comments. We'll see you next time. Have a great one. Be blessed. Peace.